Here we have the inside of the Venus Deluxe 460. If I firstly move to the main control panel, you'll see we have 12 volt power supply on and off just here. Beneath that we then have entrance light on and off. After that we have water pump on and off. Water pump needs to be on to be able to get water out of the taps and fill the boiler if it's been drained down. We then have awning light on and off. Leisure battery level. If we were hitched up to a tow vehicle, we would be able to press this and get an indication of the condition of that battery as well. Beside this control panel, we then have the control panel for the Truma heating and hot water system. So if I now press the button just here, we can turn it on. At the moment it's just displaying the time and it's letting us know that we're currently connected to mains electricity. If I now press the button again, we'll get a series of icons, and as I begin to rotate, they will begin to flash. So if we start with the first one just here, this one is for your heating. So currently the heating is off. If I now rotate, we can pick whatever temperature we would like it to be inside the caravan. Click to store it in, and you'll now see a little flame has appeared above. That little flame there just represents the heating system, and it's just letting you know that you've set a parameter. Whenever the heating is in operation, the flame will begin to flash, and it will continue to flash until it achieves the temperature you have asked it. If we now move across to the next icon, this one here is for your hot water. So again, if I now click on it, hot water is off. Again, if I now rotate, we can heat hot water in eco mode, which will give us a temperature of about 40 degrees. If I now rotate again, we can heat it in hot, which will give us a water temperature of about 60 degrees. And if I rotate again, we can also perform a boost on the boiler. The boost is extremely handy if you want hot water extremely quickly, or if there's going to be more than one of you having showers in quick succession of each other. If you do perform the boost and the heating is running, it will turn the heating off as it needs to use that extra power. Again, the icon will always flash until the temperature has been achieved. After heating and hot water, we then have power source. So we are currently using main supply at 2 kilowatts, and that's indicated just up here. If I now click on it, you'll see mains electricity at 2 kilowatts. If I rotate, we can lower the power consumption to 1 kilowatt, which is handy if we're on a low amp site to try and avoid tripping. We then have a mixture of gas and mains at 2 kilowatts, or a mixture of gas and mains at 1 kilowatt. This setting here is extremely handy, especially in the winter months. If you want to get up to temperature really fast, it will only use the gas as it is required. And then lastly, if we have no main supply connected, we can solely run on gas. Next we have the circulation fan for the heating system. We can run the fan in eco or on high. If we don't have the heating on, we can also use it to vent the caravan. If we now drop to the lower icons, this first one here is for a basic timer. So if I now click on that, we have a start time and then a finish time. Once we've done that, we just literally select what we would like on within that time period. Lastly, timer on or off. If I now activate the timer icon comes up there, and now within that time period those settings would apply. If I now return to it, I can now turn the timer back off again, and when we return we can then alter it again. After timer, we then just have clock set. And then lastly, we have the settings menu. So within the settings menu, we have offset, which is just for the thermostat, which is just there. If you don't think it's quite correct, you can just slightly adjust it. Temperature, just if you prefer it displayed in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Brightness of the screen, 12 or 24 hour clock. Language. Index, which is more for the technicians, it just lets them know what software is running. And then lastly, full factory reset. From time to time, these control panels may throw up error codes. This control panel is linked to this control panel. So if I now turn this one off, it will now throw up an error code to let me know that it's lost 12 volt. If I now turn this back on again, the error code will disappear. It will also throw up error codes if you're trying to run it on main supply and you have no mains connected, or if you're trying to run it on gas and you've run out of gas. Like I say, it's always best before you turn this control panel off to turn this one off first. Just hold the button in until it says off, and then turn this one off. And before you turn this one on, turn this one on first. If we now come to the bench seat just here and we remove the cushions, and we now raise up, you will see under here we have the consumer unit. So we have the main trip switches just here. So we have the individual MCBs, the main RCD and test button just here. So if something isn't working on main supply, just check to see whether or not you've tripped at this point here. We then have the 12 volt fuses just here, and again they're all labelled up. So if something's not working on 12 volt, again just see whether or not you've blown a fuse. Just here we have isolator switches for components that run on main supply. So the green one here is for the battery charger. We want this one left on, so when we hook up to the main supply, it charges the leisure battery. This amber one here is for the Truma heating and hot water system. Again, if we turn this one off, when we hook up to the main supply, we will get an error code on the Truma control panel letting us know that we do not have main supply connected. To be fair, both these can just be left alone. They are more for maintenance than anything else. Lastly, just here we have full system shutdown. So if you're planning on not using the caravan for a lengthy period, you can press this one just here, and it can kill basically any residual draw on the leisure battery. We then have the control board for the PowerTouch motor mover. The Truma boiler just sits here, and we have the drain valve just here. So to drain all the water out of the boiler, make sure the water pump is turned off, and then flick this lever up just here. This will then drain all the water out. To fill it back up again, flap it back over, fill up your aqua roll, drop your submersible in, turn the water pump on, and it will then commence to repriming the boiler. If you're fully drained down for winter, I do always suggest that you open up all of the taps inside the caravan as well, because this will aid in releasing airlocks, etc. So when it comes to filling it back up again, you're going to need to blow all that air back out of the system again. So open your taps, they'll cough, they'll splutter. Once they're running freely on hot and cold, close them back up again, and then the system will fully reprime. We have the surge dampener just there. If we now close back up again and pop the cushions back, we then have storage underneath this bench seat just here, storage all here with the pull-out table. Above we have the location for the radio. on and off just here on the button that says source. You'll see we have CD just up here with eject here. We also have an auxiliary point just here. Change tracks or search for radio stations just here. Easy graphic equalizer just here. And then off again just there. Microwave just here will work when hooked up onto main supply. Like most modern microwaves now, we have quick start just here, stop, and then we have all the defrost and power settings as well. Basin just here. And then beneath the basin we have the Dometic fridge, currently off at the moment. Main supply, so when we're hooked up to the mains, 12 volt maintained for when we're towing. This will keep the fridge cold whilst we're on the move. Now if we don't have main supply, we can run the fridge on gas. If we're going to do that, we need to then come across to the temperature control just here, hold it in, push the igniter, and then this little line here will touch the green to let you know that it's lit. Sometimes we'll take a couple of goes, especially when a new gas bottle's been put on. But this is now slowly drifting up into the green. Fridge just here. And the removable freezer box just here. Whenever we turn it back to something else, you'll see that it will then automatically put itself back out again and drop back down. We then have the hob, so we have the electric hot plate just here, which operates on this dial here. Everything else is gas, so it is push in, twist and push the igniter. Beneath that we have the grill, and again that is just push in, twist and push the igniter. And then the oven. Beneath the oven, storage, but also you'll find a plug plugged in, which is for the hot plate, and you will find some of the gas isolation taps. So we have the cooker, the fridge, the heating and the hot water just here. They are all in the on position, and quite frankly they can stay like that. They are more for maintenance. I would say if you smell gas in the caravan, go to the source and turn the gas bottle off. As we now come into the washroom, we have the toilet just here. So to open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across. To flush, just pump. Level indicator just here, so this will go from green to red when the cassette needs emptying. Close the cassette back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left this open. we have the wardrobe just here, and tucked in the corner is the television aerial. So the master's just here, and the digital amplifier is just there, on and off on the top. And this particular amplifier has a built-in signal finder, so as long as you've got a nice green light, you know you've got a good strong signal. You can adjust the boost just here, and to raise the mast up, undo the collar and then push up and then twist it into the position that you require. This little green window here represents the back of the aerial, so you know which way it's pointing. And we can also, by using this tail, flip the aerial from horizontal to vertical if we need to do additional tuning. Do make sure that you are in the horizontal position for travel. And that you're fully down. We then have the basin just here, and the shower cubicle just here. Do make sure that the shower screen is secured for travel.